Most of you aren't subscribed. Make sure to consume the subscribe button, as it helps out the channel. Without further ado, waking up in a desolate dungeon, Hajime Nagumo stumbles around, trying to figure out where he is whilst barely conscious. Encountering an innocent bunny, he is horrified to see such a small bunny slay 2 wolves. With its attention now on Hajime, a colossal bear devours the bunny in front of him. Completely helpless, Hajime surrenders his arm, forcing to dig a tunnel and patch it up. On the verge of blacking out, he notices a holy crystal, meant to rejuvenate and heal any wounds, but cannot grow lost limbs. Sinking deep into his thoughts, Hajime begins to remember. Several days ago, Hajime along with several classmates were tasked with exploring a dungeon. With no battle capabilities, Hajime is forced to rely on others for his protection. Falling for a trap, the whole squad is teleported to a lower floor. Completely unprepared, Hajime conjures a wall to stall off the creature on the floor, whilst the squad fires at it from a distance. Having been betrayed, Hajime is shot by one of the spells, offering himself as sacrifice to the monster. Flashing to a previous conversation with his love interest, Kaori Shirasaki. Promising to protect the healer Kaori, Hajime was able to protect his squad, but at the cost of his life. Beginning to wallow in self-pity, he begins to fuel himself with rage, stating that he'll devour the bear that stole his arm. Setting a trap for the some wolves, Hajime kills and devours the bottom feeders. Unable to consume the wolves' meat, Hajime is forced to use the holy crystal to complete his transformation. Realizing that he has gained the wolves' lightning abilities, he sets his sights on the bunny. With the gun's speed out matching the bunny's speed, Hajime kills and consumes the bunnies, obtaining the creature's agile movements. Finally ready, he takes on the bear. Severing the creature's arm, Hajime taunts the creature, digging into the arm, right in front of the creature. Noticing the creature, spewing with liquids, Hajime makes use of his new lightning ability, electrocuting and killing the creature. Making his way in the lower floors, it's revealed that the world Hajime is in is overrun with monsters. The only way the humans could combat such a force was summoning heroes, which were Hajime and his classmates. Additionally, it's shown that Kaori clearly cares a lot about Hajime. Back with Hajime, we see him encounter a door. Defeating the door's guardians, Hajime enters the room, witnessing a young girl strung up. Begging to be freed, Hajime flat out refuses, noting how suspicious it is. She informs Hajime she is a vampire that has been sealed, but doesn't remember why. Hearing her innocence, Hajime breaks her seal, making use of a holy crystal liquid to replenish himself. Refusing to be known as her previous name, Hajime gives her the name Yu, after her features resembling the moon. Just then Hajime is caught off guard, attacked from behind. Healing himself, he carries Yu with him. Realizing the creature is unbeatable, Yu begins to drink Hajime's blood, only to cast a powerful spell, defeating the creature. Hiding to replenish his equipment, Hajime begins to head deeper into the dunes. The entire time, Yu continues to replenish her strength, sucking on Hajime. Swarmed by creatures, Hajime and Yu run into a little cave section. Not sensing anything, Hajime gets suspicious, only to turn and realize Yu is being controlled by a creature. Unable to strike the monster, without injuring Yu, being resistant to the creature's spell, Hajime catches the creature's guard, killing it and freeing Yu. Annoyed at Hajime not warning her of his plan, Yu decides to punish Hajime, sucking him dry. The deeper the two go, the more complex the labyrinth gets, hence making a map helps drastically. Finally they enter the 100th floor, the lowest floor. Entering the room, the two encounter a multi-headed dragon. Engaging the creature, Hajime notices Yu staring at the creature. Taking her out of harm's way, Hajime is forced to knock some sense into her, giving her a kiss. No longer in a daze, the two charge the creature. Making use of his most powerful gun, Hajime tears the creature's heads off. Turning to Yu, Hajime is caught off guard, as a final dragon head remains. Forced to take the shot to protect Yu, Hajime is completely knocked out. Dragging his lifeless body to cover, Yu mouth feeds a potion to heal him. In the meantime, she attempts to distract the dragon, only to be swiftly defeated. Wallowing in despair, Hajime hears Yu's cries and springs back up, once again protecting her. Inspired, Yu draws some of Hajime blood. Whilst Hajime distracts the creature, Yu casts and shoots a powerful ball of energy, finally incinerating the creature. With Hajime collapsing with exhaustion, we cut to Hajime's teacher, who has personally decided to form a group to search for Hajime. Waking up, Hajime is flustered to see a nude Yu. Exploring the area past the final floor, the two enter a building. Sifting through rooms, they encounter a throne room, where a deceased body lies in wait. Wary of possible traps, Hajime walks onto a spell circle. With random thoughts implanted into his head, he is greeted by the apparition of Oscar Orcus, the creator of the labyrinth. Back with Hajime's teacher, we see her gather several classmates, as they make their way to the same floor, where they... Back with Hajime, Oscar bestows Hajime the power of creations before parting ways. Trying out his new ability, Hajime learns of other dungeons to conquer. Spending time with Yu and learning of the knowledge left behind, Hajime and Yu finally exit the dungeon. Taking a portal, the two are transported onto a random location, on the surface of their world. Just then, a useless bunny girl, Shei Haulia, comes running to them, begging to save her. Disgusted at her clinginess, Hajime reluctantly saves her. Hearing how her village is being attacked. Seeing Shei, selflessly begging for the survival of her village, Hajime and Yu give in and visit her village. Saving the village, the two wonder why the villagers are so powerless. Testing their abilities, Hajime decides to train the villagers to make them less helpless. Elsewhere, Yu notes that Shei has exceptional skill, but not enough to rival Yu. With the day coming to an end, Shei is shocked to see the demeanor of her village change, only after a day of training with Hajime. Visiting the epicenter of the village, Hajime realizes that the tree the villagers call their home is the final destination once he's conquered all dungeons in the world. Before Hajime and Yu leave, Shei pleads to join them, wanting to grow stronger. Surprised by her resolve, the two accept Shei into their party. Using the knowledge left behind by Oscar, the gang enter another labyrinth. With Shei accidentally stumbling into the dungeon's entrance, the gang begin to make their way through the labyrinth. Encountering various basic traps, the three eventually stumble onto a throne room. Dismantling the knights guarding the door, the three are greeted by the final boss. Working together, the three are shocked to meet the creator of the dungeon. Gifting Hajime with gravitational magic, the creator flushes the gang out of the dungeon. The three then head to a nearby inn, to rest for the night. Greeting the guilder leader, Hajime is hired by the leader to rescue a noble that has been lost for several days. Immediately heading out, Hajime and the gang stop at a nearby inn to take a break. Coincidentally, Hajime's old teacher and several classmates are also spending time at the inn. Rushing to his side, she sheds tears knowing that her valuable student is alive. Catching up, the teacher is disappointed to learn Hajime is being intimate with two girls at once. Just then, a cocky knight intrudes on their conversation, insulting Shei for her beast-like appearance. Having no part of it, Hajime blasts the knight for insulting one of his comrades. Sitting back down, Yu comforts Shei, noting that Hajime loves her ears, which makes Shei delighted. That night, Hajime visits his teacher, filling her in on his mission. The next day, Hajime attempts to leave, only for his teacher and classmates to want to tag along. With no option, Hajime brings out one of his transportations he's created. Along the way, the girls are jealous at how Hajime is pampering his teacher. Making use of his newly crafted surveillance system, Hajime is able to notice something off with a nearby waterfall, noting that there is life behind the waterfall. Encountering the lost noble, Hajime is shocked to see a rare black dragon waiting for the gang. With Hajime and Shei engaging the dragon, Yu stays behind to protect the rest. Testing out his new weapon, he's able to pick the dragon out of the sky. Threatening the dragon to not move, the gang is shocked to see it transform into a human. Sharing her name, Tio Claris, the gang is both amazed at her beauty but weirded out by her obsession with being roughed up. Upon saving the noble, Hajime is asked to assist with defeating a mysterious horde of creatures nearby. On the day of conflict, Hajime shocks both the enemies and allies at how powerful his weapons have gotten. With the cooperation of Shay, Yu and other adventurers, the enemy swarm is completely demolished. Meeting their enemy's leader, everyone is shocked to see a fellow classmate controlling the creatures. Attempting to question her student, Hanjin's teacher is taken captive. Ignoring his corrupted classmate's threat, Hajime and Shay kill the leader, only to notice his teacher dying. Immediately feeding a healing potion to the teacher, Hajime is able to barely cling onto his teacher's life. Reassuring his teacher that he'll continue to live, Hajime and the gang head off. Having the next day off, the four rest and go out to buy groceries. Just then, Hajime's sense goes off, noticing an injured girl below the shopping area, in sewers. Rescuing Myu and fixing her up, the gang leaves her with the guards, to help find her mother. Whilst leaving, the guards are attacked, and Myu is kidnapped. Enraging Hajime, the gang tracks the attackers to their hideout and saves Myu, taking her in as one of their own. Awaiting another mission from the guild, a fellow classmate, Endo begs for anyone to save his group. Spotting Hajime, Endo begins filling them in. Stating that Hajime's fellow classmates decided to search for Hajime, they were ambushed by a demon. Summoning various creatures, the demon was able to kill one of their classmates. Noticing their situation, the leader of the knights demand the Endo escape, prioritizing getting help. In the meantime, the most popular boy in the class, Amanogawa, goes berserk as his sense of justice overwhelms him. Dismantling incoming creatures, Amanogawa makes his way towards the demon, landing a lethal blow. Unable to take another life, Amanogawa is wounded, letting the demon. Instantly spotting the enemy, Hajime taunts the demon's pathetic abilities. Killing all of the demon's summons, Hajime's classmates are in disbelief. With nowhere to run, the demon is slowly tortured by Hajime, before finally being killed. Guiding the classmates to the surface, Amanogawa is furious at Hajime for taking another's life, only for Hajime to state that he'll kill anyone that gets in his way, even his own classmates. Having made it to the surface, Hajime attempts to leave, only for Kaori to confess her love for Hajime. Rejecting her feelings, Kaori is offered to join their party, as she would make a great addition to the team, and by doing so can hopefully win Hajime's heart. Thanks for watching. Check out one of our other videos. Subscribe, like,